Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Prodigy Music Man here, and I want to show you guys something that I got that I really love. Da-da-da. These are arcade systems, and this is in my basement, my man cave, my expanding man cave, because I'm slowly taking over the basement, it feels like. But these two systems are either going to be a good buy or a bad buy. And I want to go over some details for you guys to kind of help you if you're in the situation that I was in determining whether or not you want to spend $400 or $500 for an arcade system. So make sure you subscribe if you like content like this. I'm only going to give you guys helpful information about technology, about music, and about other things too in general. So make sure you subscribe, like this video as well. We need to get the likes up so people can see this because I want to make sure that you guys spread the word and other people can get some info from this too. This is my arcade setup. This is the beginning of my arcade setup. I grew up a huge gamer. I loved playing video games growing up. And one thing I always loved doing was going to the arcades. So for me, having the marquee, having this little box, even though it's not full size, that they say is 3/4 the size, it's a cool feel when I come down the stairs of my basement and I see these. And sometimes I literally just like load up a game and have them running with the sound at a reasonable level because I wanted to feel like it used to feel when I would go to like Celebration Station or putt golf or whatever and actually hang out with my friends or my family and play some games. I love games. Now, I don't play as many games as I used to because my golden life is different. So I'm actually trying to create things instead of spending time consuming things. But for you guys who are interested in having a same type of nostalgia vibe, I think this is perfect for you. So the first one that I bought was actually this Outrun cabinet. Now this Outrun cabinet is special because it's the one with the seat, which at the time it was actually kind of hard to get it. Let me pull this thing out really quick. You see it's got the pedals down below and it's got this bench here that's got, pretty cool designs around it. I think it looks really good. I remember when I used to go to different places back in the day, there would always be an Outrun cabinet. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and run these games. So it does come with 4 different games loaded on it. It comes with Turbo Outrun, which I had never played before, Outrunners, which I have definitely never played before, and Power Drift, which I'd never heard before. But Outrun was my game. That's the game I wanted. So I'm glad that it came with 4 games because, to be honest, this thing was expensive, man. This thing was super expensive. It was like, I think my final price may have been $550 for this. I'm not sure if the stand-up cabinet's any cheaper. I wouldn't want this in a stand-up cabinet. I love the fact that I can sit down and play it. But being that it's 3/4, it's pretty cramped. For me, it's not ideal setups, right? I've got long arms and I'm about 6 feet tall. My children fit perfectly in this, and they don't really. I can't keep them interested. My daughter actually said she hates the way these graphics look. She'd rather play Forza on Xbox. So whatever. That's what she likes to do. So yeah, even the music sounds good. Check this out. Well, there's no music there, but that's the volume control. Let's talk about quality really quick, right? Screen-wise, great. The screen looks fantastic. I don't have any complaints about the screen. It is small, but I don't think about it being small when I'm playing the game. The steering wheel, it centers automatically, which is really nice. It's cool, but it has no, it's Outrun, so there's no like force feedback. So if you're used to like the Thrustmasters, all these new controllers, it isn't going to be like that. These decals, I love this right here. This is actually the map for Outrun, right? And the fact that it's in the cabinet is cool. I like the fact that this lights up at the top. I love that. I think that's great. So at nighttime, it looks really cool. It glows. The your song selection panel here, and you've got your gear shifter, your high, your low, your manual setup right here. The pedals are plastic, and it is what it is. They're not the greatest pedals. They're just there to be there. And setting this thing up was interesting because it's 2 pieces, so it took me longer to set this up than it did to set up the NBA Jam cabinet. Now, the thing about this setup here is that it's pretty heavy. So if you're strong and you feel good and you're moving it between the stairs, fine, go for it. But honestly, man, this thing is pretty damn heavy. So I got tired moving it around. And I think it's basically because of this right here, this seat. This seat is just a cushion, you know, nothing special about it. And that's pretty much how the Outrun cabinet is. Now, I'm not going to go through all the games because you guys can see a different review for that. But just know that it comes with 4 games, and what's special about it is that it's got a seated part. There's another one that has a riser, similar to this riser, where it goes under the cabinet and it allows for you to put the pedal there too. And so it's more like a standing operational one. And again, I don't know if this would be better if it were standing. I just know that I'd have to make customizations to this to make this work for me. That's all I know. As far as this cabinet right here goes, this was my second one, and I was actually out of town, and I stopped at Walmart, and I saw that they had this in stock. Now, I wanted to buy this for the longest. The NBA season was going along, and I was really wanting to have some of that nostalgia vibe. So I found this cabinet left in a Walmart. The Walmart version of this is different than the Best Buy version of this. The Walmart version of this does not include the seats, so it's a little bit cheaper. It's about $100 cheaper because it doesn't include the stool. I've got these leftover stools from what we used to have a table that for them, and they're perfect for this. So from a playability standpoint, having the stool and playing Arcade1up is a 100% benefit. Like, it's totally worth it, right? I could stand up and play this, yeah, but in all honesty, I'm looking down. I mean, you see how low that is? This isn't even at my eyes. So this is at my eyes. So I'm looking down at this. See, it's weird. It's weird. Okay, it's weird. But if I'm seated, I'm like right here, and it's so much easier. So I like this a lot better. This is my preferred setup for sure. So the different games though. On this one, what makes this special is that it's got Wi-Fi connectivity. So you can play NBA Jam and you can go on a Wi-Fi for free and you can play other people. Well, you got the choice. You can be in invisible mode, which basically means nobody can see you, or you can just be visible to your friends or favorites, right? People who you can add as your favorites and as you play live. And then you've got visible to everybody who's actually on the platform that wants to be able to see everybody else. So I've done this a few times over the internet. I think I played NBA Jam Tournament Edition on online in Hang Time. I'm really good at NBA Hang Time. I had this game on my Sega Genesis as a kid, and I'll tell you right now, like it's a little hard playing it on Wi-Fi. Okay, it's not. That lag is big. The lag is big. It's big enough to be impactful to the fact that like you're not able to block certain types of shots. Let me see if I can make this thing go faster. We'll just click through this thing real quick. Yeah. Click through, boom. If you guys have never played NBA Hang Time, you're in for a treat. It's an amazing game. It's absolutely dope. I love that game. But yeah. See, let's go ahead. Let's go through here. Click through here. Yeah. The cool thing about Hang Time is it's basically like the perfect version of NBA Jam because you can do cool things like spin moves like this. Wait, that's not me. Yeah. I know. Let's see. I'm Rodman, right? Pass it back to me. Let's watch this spin move. Oh, wait. Whatever. I forgot. It's hard to do it with one hand. But anyway, the cabinet's dope. It does have online. It comes with 3 games. Only 3 games for this one. But the price is basically $400. So this is $550. This is $400. I love this cabinet. It hurts to play this cabinet. So I don't play this cabinet as much as I would if it were like a bigger size or just fit better. You know, I got a Corvette, guys. So me driving this hurts. It already hurts driving a real Corvette. It hurts driving a video game. And you know what happens when something hurts is you don't play it. And you just look at it and it's just a space piece for right now. So I think one thing to make this cabinet better for me would be to raise the cabinet here because my kids don't really play it. I would just basically raise this on a platform at the bottom to boost it up because the hardest part is that I'm leaning forward to play this. So yeah, that's the situation with the Outrun cabinet. See, when you sit in the seat, you're literally reaching forward and your arms are fully extended because your legs are cramped. And it's just an awkward seating position. You know, also too, this cabinet is a bench. It doesn't come with a chair. I've seen people talk about modifying this and adding a chair, which I think would be cool. But in all honesty, I don't know. It just seems like that's a lot of extra work to do. And I'm not really sure I want to go through all of that for this. I don't know if it's worth it. Maybe I'll just keep it as that game I play every 2 months. I'll come down here and just sit down and play it and you know, with some beer or something like that and play that game. But let's talk about this right here. So one cool thing about this game is that it's a 4-player game. That's a 1-player game. That's a 4-player game. Now, I'm going to be honest, when you're standing here, it's kind of odd, man, because the screen is like so, you know, the angle is weird, right? And, you know, I haven't had 4 people come here and play this yet, but look at this. Look at where the buttons are coming off the side. So if I'm like standing here, I'm just basically just, hold on, sorry. If I'm standing here, I'm basically like this, right? You know, which is kind of weird because your wrist is like, you know, about to fall off the side. This side's not that bad because you're holding the, you know, the joystick or whatever. And I don't remember what the cabinet buttons on the real NBA Jam actually look like. So I guess they were like this layout here, but these aren't. It's not bad. Let's talk about the controllers, right? So one of my big, huge issues, and people have pointed this out, is that this feels like crap. This does not feel great. The buttons, they're okay. The buttons are okay. I would say the buttons are fine. They're not like the best buttons. But the issue I have with this is that this thing, after you move it around for a while, you're finding yourself screwing it back on because for some reason it gets loose and you have to screw the top part back onto the knob. And that is super annoying with this particular cabinet. And that's really my only gripe about the cabinet, is that this thing doesn't feel great, but that it keeps coming up. If it didn't come up, I'll probably be okay. Do I want to super glue it? No. I would consider changing this in the future to a different joystick arm. I would consider making that upgrade for this. That's probably the one upgrade that I would probably do for the system here, is to change this knob here. These buttons, I don't care as much. They're pretty decent. I mean, it's NBA Jam. It's not like your fighting game buttons or something like that. You know what, though? Let me get to my final thoughts on this and tell you guys what my recommendations are for anybody looking at these systems. Do I recommend somebody buying this Outrun system or this NBA Jam system? And I'm going to split these up. If you've got the money to buy this system and it doesn't hurt you, do what you want to do, right? If you want to buy it, buy it. Now, if it's a system choice between this and a console, get the console. Don't get this. This is just like a nice to have thing. I don't think that it's like a long-term thing. It's definitely means more to people who grew up with these types of systems in their lives, you know, at different arcade places and stuff like that. But, you know, if you really want to have it, I think it's cool. I think it has a cool vibe to it. You know, as an adult, it definitely makes you feel like a child again in different ways. It's not intended to be an identical replica of what we grew up with and what we were used to. But I think they do a good job for the money because the real systems cost a lot of money and they also have a lot of maintenance issues. So that's that being said. So basically, do I recommend this? Sure. I don't feel like I wasted my money, right? I don't feel like it's a waste. Would I buy another $500 Arcade1up cabinet though? Probably not. I don't think I would spend that much money on Arcade1up. I think 400 is the good price range. I think the 400 ones are nice. What cabinets would I buy next if I were to buy cabinets again, or you know, so forth and so on? So I do plan on keeping these cabinets forever. I don't ever plan on getting rid of them. The putting them together was pretty easy. There's not a big, it's not hard at all. The instructions are pretty straightforward. I think they look really polished and overall the build quality is really good for the money for sure. The next systems that I was looking at was actually Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, because I'm going for games that I grew up on, that I spent a lot of time playing either in the arcade or at home. And I have I love playing basketball games growing up. I love racing games growing up. And I love my fighting games growing up, which were between Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. Mortal Kombat was my first love of fighting games. They do have these legacy cabinets where they have about 11 games on them each. And some of the games I've never played before, which I think would be cool to try out. I think that's one cool thing about the Arcade1up system, is that you can actually get some stuff that you're not used to and get exposure to it. Meanwhile, you can still have the things that you remember and have nostalgia about and really appreciate those cabinets. So yeah, I'll probably go ahead and get in the future. I'll probably go ahead and get like a Mortal Kombat cabinet here and a Street Fighter cabinet there. But I think I'm probably going to get one more cabinet that just throws it into maybe 2 more cabinets that are not Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, and one of those will probably be I'm debating here. There's a Pong cabinet that I thought was really interesting. That Pong cabinet actually has a 4-player table, but I've read some reviews about it, good or bad. The bigger issue for me with the Pong table, like I said, is that's a $500 tabletop unit. Would my kids play it? I don't think my kids would play this anymore. After buying this, my kids don't really care about this. They'd rather play PlayStation or Nintendo or something like that. They don't really care about an arcade machine. You know, they think it looks cool, but after that went away for a few days, they basically just don't care at all. Maybe in the future they'll care, but as of right now, they don't care. But yeah, I think for my wife and I, having like a Pong cabinet would be pretty cool. I don't think she cares about NBA Jam. NBA Jam would be more so for me and my people I grew up with, my friends, my family, and things like that. And I think maybe getting like so it's a Pac-Man cabinet. I'm curious about Dragon's Lair. I've never played that game. I've always wanted to play that game. If I can find it for $400, I think I consider it as like as a sixth Arcade1up for sure. Maybe fifth if the Pong thing doesn't go down in price. But yeah, I think that would probably be my standpoint at this point in time. So yeah, that's how I feel about these things, guys. I think they're cool. Again, I just leave them running like this. And let me know in the comments what you guys think. What system would you get first if you had an Arcade1up? You know, do you feel like $550, like this is worth $550 based upon what I was saying today? Do you think that these systems are worth it with the joystick problems that I was telling you about earlier? You know, it's still playable. It's just that in between each quarter, I'm tightening up the joystick. So it's an easy fix with some glue. That's a permanent fix. But what do you guys think about something like that? I think personally, for the price, I can't be too mad about it. You know, I'd be more mad if the steering wheel was falling off or something like that. But this one seems pretty sturdy. So I'm okay with this one. But this one right here, like I tell you, I'll play it more. And it's a little weird. But I do like the fact that they have the Wi-Fi, and I think that definitely helps to make that extremely valuable. I feel like for the money, this has more value to me as far as playability long-term, replayability, and things like that. This one is very much of a self-contained experience cabinet where you're just sitting there. So the bigger thing is, if this was more comfortable, I would definitely recommend this strongly. But it's just not that comfortable. So it gets kind of hard to control some things. But anyway, like I said, guys, Prodigy Music Man. So if you like what you hear, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video and share. And I definitely want to have a conversation with you guys. So I'll talk with you guys later. All right, peace.